Hi, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and it's fireworks time. I can't believe this. I'm so psyched. First of all, nobody will see this who doesn't know who Fats Domino is. My God, and this is the earliest known, I just found it too, just a few weeks ago, the earliest known Fats Domino concert poster amongst all us collectors. Maybe somebody has one from '51, who knows, but this is, you always have to say that, right? This is 1952, and it's just, I'll just start by coming right in on it. I mean, I'll read you that venue info, handwritten in pencil at the top in a moment, but look at those 10 song titles. Not the standard old photo of Fats, but rather an early at the piano, full body shot. I'll get to the details down below in just a moment as well, but this thing is an absolute gem. It's an absolute historical piece. I'm so tickled by it. Obviously Fats, he outsold everybody in the 50s except for Elvis. Of all the founding fathers of rock and roll, Buddy Holly and all those guys, only Elvis sold more than Fats Domino. So that's just really, that just shows a little bit of his impact. And he was a founding father of New Orleans rhythm and blues, as was Professor Longhair at the bottom of the poster. So you have two total founding fathers of New Orleans R&B. Arguably the two most important, but we don't want to diss Dave Bartholomew or other folks. So anyway, I'm so excited about this. I just get way off track and everything, but I don't want to do the heavy editing thing. This is from Phoenix City, Alabama. I'll be honest, I had not heard of Phoenix City, Alabama before getting the poster. I got a few others from Phoenix City as well. It was like notorious during the 1940s and 50s as being a haven for organized crime and prostitution and gambling, sort of like a little Vegas over there. It was right next to the U.S. Army Training Center in Fort Benning, Georgia. So obviously you had all the soldiers going over, and as a result, this small town, not even spelled like Phoenix, Arizona, there's no O, Phoenix City, Alabama, had the reputation as Sin City, USA. So take that, Vegas. I guess Vegas took over after that. But getting a little bit closer here on this yellow and red poster, it's just really, 14 by 22 cardboard. It's just really old. It feels 60 years old or whatever it is, and it's just such an amazing thrill. Okay, let's cover what it says at the top here, and it's just so funny. They wrote it in by pencil. Talk about informal. Talk about just a window card they just stuck up. It's amazing. Maybe I can, hold that for you a little bit. It says these exact words there in pencil. Something new. Well, how's that right there? I mean, rock and roll was not even born. Well, that's another whole story, another whole video. Something new for 1 full week. White only. How's that? It's got a segregation line written in. French Casino, 1 full week, being repetitive there. Friday, Feb 29 through Saturday, March 8th. For your dancing pleasure, make reservations early. Advance tickets on sale at Lane's Drug Store, Booth's Drug Store, Silver Street, Chub 40, hard to read, Gentry's Shoe Store. Advance $1. The door, $1.50. So you can see the future of rock and roll here for $1 in 1952 in Sin City. Where's my plane ticket? I'd be there, and my time tunnel ticket as well. I would definitely be there. Now these 10 song titles on here, you can see those are all A and B sides of his Imperial singles from 1950 and 51. And it does include the classic song The Fat Man, which, sorry about that. Well, actually, those 10 include his only 3 R&B hits up to this point. The Fat Man, which some experts like to claim was the first rock and roll single, but that's also another video. Every Night About This Time and Rockin' Chair. Fats had not even had a #1 R&B hit yet, but he was about to, because just a few weeks after this show, Goin' Home would enter the charts and become his first #1 R&B hit. So, let's see, what else can we say about this poster? Certainly the opening act down at the bottom here. Roy Bird, also known as Professor Longhair. Look at that. I know you R&B geeks are swooning like I was. Perhaps not a household name, but certainly a legend in R&B fields. He's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's won Grammys. He's in the Blues Hall of Fame. Even Paul McCartney did a B-side and wrote it for, it's called My Carnival, for Fess, which was Professor Longhair's nickname, and recorded the song in New Orleans and dedicated it to Fess, so that's pretty cool. He's a true founding father. It's just great to have him down there at the bottom as the opening act. of New Orleans rhythm and blues. His 3 song titles on here, by the way, include his signature song, Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and his top 5 R&B hit from a couple of years ago, summer of 1950, Bald Head, which was credited on the record not to Professor Longhair but to Roy Bird. You know, Joel Whitburn's Billboard chart books are really handy for people like me for research and stuff, and they often call an artist influential. But in Bird's case, those books state he was extremely influential with his piano style. Now, like so many of these cardboard posters, it's kind of funny. There's some, I don't know if you can quite make them out, in pencil, some figures, some calculations written on the back. You know, just know these things were lying on desks and everything back then, and, you know, just used as, you know, as scratch pads and stuff because they had no value back then. But boy, is it fun to have now. I want to point out Domino first attracted attention just 2 years before this in 1950 with Fat Man on Imperial Records. It's an early rock and roll record featuring a rolling piano and the Domino doing the wah-wah vocalizing over a strong backbeat. And the Fat Man sold 1 million copies, and it's widely regarded as the first rock and roll record to have sold 1 million. So if it's not the first rock and roll record, it's the first one, it's one of many candidates, but the first one to have sold 1 million copies. So that's really neat that Fat Man is on there. And of course, it would be 3 years, 1955, before Fats really crossed over and hit the mainstream in a big way with his hit single, Ain't It a Shame, which eventually morphed into Ain't That a Shame, as covered by Cheap Trick and lots of other artists, musicians. So just a beautiful, sweet, historic piece. I'm just so tickled to death. I've been collecting posters a long time, almost a quarter of a century, and when something like this comes along, you've never seen it before. It's hard to imagine an earlier one. It's just, it's a Hall of Fame piece. It's a museum piece. I'm just so tickled. And sorry if I gushed too much, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go put on a Fats CD now. Heck, I'll play the whole box set today. Why not? Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for coming by, and we'll see you next time with something that has to be less historic, but we'll find something good for you anyway. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.